Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of TED Excellence, a TEDXtra, as it were. This is a follow-up from Thursday night show. I'll explain in a moment, but I come to you live from Crater Valley on the moon with Dogcat Fox, a blue monster, and all of you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Saturday. It's an odd day, but it's Saturday. And before I forget, let me get all of my particulars going here. We got the banner. We got the chat. And speaking of chat, who's joining me on this beautiful Saturday afternoon? Malachi D. Wildman. Good afternoon. Maddie's House of Geek. Good afternoon. Hi, Maddie. Blue-Eyed Scream, hello. Keeverdam, hello. And thank you, Keeverdam, as always, for providing the link, guys, at the top of the chat box to the Blood Cancer United donation page, formerly the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. If you have the opportunity, please take a look at that. And if you can, please donate. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. So thank you ahead of time for that. And thank you, Keeverdam, as always, for providing the link. Shady Grin, good afternoon. Yep, it's me. Ooh, I am in time for Alive. Alive. It's alive. Hi, all. Hi. Yep, it's me. Miranda Stone is here. Now, I don't know if you know about Miranda Stone, but in case you don't, Morgan King, good afternoon. Attack Alpaca, hello. Noah Sencio, hello. Alexander the Scourge, and good afternoon. It's afternoon for me, evening for some. Mike R., good evening. Mike Savage, Blarg. Funtime Bats, hello. Who else is here? Anybody else? Is everybody in? Blakester, good afternoon. Susannu Ala-Richard, good afternoon. Fostonia, hello. And Simon Willikins, hello. Before I join in your pain, I have to change a fictional girl's hairstyle. Whatever you need to do, Simon. It's fine. And Luke Skywalker 2, hello. And I think that's everybody. Oh, Blue-Eyed Scream. I clicked on that, but there you go. All right, so brief explanation as to what this is. In the last TED Excellence episode on Thursday, the show ran a little short in my mind. I try to go for like an hour and a half, thereabouts. But sometimes, depending on circumstances or perhaps the quality of the talk we just watched, I feel that, maybe something extra is needed. And so I keep on the sidelines a few of the shorter TEDx's. TEDx's run anywhere from 5 to 25 minutes, depending on the presentation. Anything under about 10 minutes, I keep for, maybe a double feature episode or just for some extra content or something. And this was one of those nights. Well, we started up this particular TEDx, this 6-minute long TEDx talk, and it was far, far too quiet. You see, I try as best as I can to pre-screen the audio quality of the TEDx's that I do, because oftentimes TEDx has lousy audio, so I have to boost it. This particular talk, I did not have an opportunity to boost because I didn't know I'd be using it that night, and so it was very quiet. However, the title, combined with the first line the speaker says that we were able to discern, made me say, okay, well, I can't just let this lie. We have to look at this in its totality. But it's still too short for a regular TED Excellence episode, as though there are any rules or time slots that I'm adhering to, but in my mind, I feel like I am. So anyway, this presentation, its official title is Becoming a Black Man in America. And unlike previous TEDx talks, I do know what the speaker is going to say in his first line, and that is, I wasn't born a black man. And that got us all curious, myself included. And I thought about this over the last day or so, and I thought, he's right. He wasn't, unless he's Benjamin Button, he was not born a black man. He was born a baby. He would have to grow into a man. But here's, and maybe I'll have a track record going now. Here's my suspicion as to what this talk might be about. Now, of course, my suspicion about what the talk might be about in the previous TEDx episode was far better than what we got from the speaker, in my opinion. So I could be wrong, but I might be wrong in a positive light. So here's my assumption. I think it's going to be something to the effect of since race is a social construct, as we know, our speaker did not realize that he was a black man as he was growing up because race was not a factor in assessment or something, as I wish the world would be like. But because of whatever situations he or his family faced as he grew up or any other conflicts that may have arisen, he was made to know that he was a black man versus just being a man. Something like that. That's my guess. Now, I'm happy to be wrong. Unless it's something like the last episode where my idea was such a better concept. But that's beside the point. So, anyway, this won't be a very long stream probably. But curiosity is what it is. So we're going to find out together. So tonight's bingo card is bingo card B. B for black, because why not? Get your bingo card Bs ready. Links are in the description. It's only a 6-minute talk, so we might not cover much, but we'll cover something probably. So with that, all as preamble, let's get into it. 6 minutes and 17 seconds. And I boosted the audio 12 decibels. That should be enough. I hope.
I wasn't born a black man.
Okay, there we go. I wasn't born a black man. Does everybody hear that okay? Much better than last time, I hope. Let me know in the chat. Let's see. What's this? I need to do a fake TEDx about becoming a lich. That would be a good TEDx. Just take like a couple still frames from an actual TEDx. Either Microsoft Paint or Photoshop your avatar over the guy's head and just lay that over your audio of your essay. That's what I did for mine. My fake TEDx talk. Oh, I still love it. Malicious tranquility. Sounds good, says Mike R. Lima Charlie, says Alexander. I'll take your word for it. Susanna Arleshot read a book last century. Fair enough. About a man that became black to experience what it was like in the U.S. Doubt it's that sort of story. Yeah, there was a skit done by Eddie Murphy way back in the old Saturday Night Live days. Early Saturday Night Live days, where he dressed up as a white man, and it was a skit, but he did like interactions with people as a white man and his imitation of a white man in a white man's world. And that was always fun. I tried to use that clip in a previous scripted video of mine. You know, fair use. No, NBC wasn't having it. And I got copyright struck. It was one of my earliest copyright strikes, I think. Or at least copyright claims. Something. Anyway. Okay, everybody can hear it anyway. So here we go. I was not born a black man.
Nor did I live as a black woman.
Thank goodness for small favors.
I was born a girl named Diamond, who transitioned into a black man named Sir Diamond.
Okay, I was completely wrong. Okay. I admit defeat. Twice now. 2 TEDx's in the row. My presumptions on the basis of title.
But that journey required more than testosterone and top surgery.
Okay. So, you're a woman.
It required me to survive something I couldn't even see coming. America's idea of who I'm supposed to be.
Okay, going to the bingo card. Plays victim, circling that one. In less than 30 seconds. It could be like the speed for a car or something. In less than 30 seconds to plays victim. All right. Circling plays victim in free space. Let's go over the bingo card real quick to remind ourselves what we are listening for. Marginalize marginalization. Probable. Self-vilification or wretchedness. Contradicts own point or fails to make argument. Feminism. Microaggressions or unconscious bias. Privilege. Benevolent condescension. Weightless example or non sequitur. Collectivizes own demographic. I think we've already done that too, so circling that one. Economic disparity, deceptive statistics, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase, a list, and again, that has to be a formal list of some kind in the course of the presentation. Mind reading or assumes motives. I could see an argument for already circling that too because of what America expects a black man to be, but we'll wait and see if something else comes up. Patriarchy, possibly. Anecdote that probably never happened. DEI philosophy in one way, shape, or form. White supremacy. Childhood or family anecdote. Not yet specifically, but we might get there. Systemic or institutional. Leaves out vital context. Sales pitch for product or service. And lastly, word salad. So far on bingo card B, remember links to the bingo cards are in the description, plays victim, collectivizes own demographic, and free space. And so, let's go.
At 18 years old, fresh out of high school, I began my transition.
Okay, childhood or family anecdote. It qualifies. Circle in that one.
Not just physically from female to male, but socially from a life of being overlooked to suddenly being watched. Sometimes feared and often misunderstood.
Okay. Well, I will at least say this thus far. I mean, not knowing all the details. Out of high school, so I'm guessing 18. So she made this decision as a legal adult. That's fine. I mean, I've heard worse stories, but all the same.
Transitioning from female to male isn't just a personal change.
Mm-hmm.
Transitioning into a black man in America is a cultural collision.
Tell me how.
And in my case, it came without a roadmap.
So every other black male has a roadmap?
Without a mentor and without a father figure.
Okay.
So I had to build manhood from the ground up.
Right.
And today I want to take you with me on that journey so you can understand what it means to become a black man in America.
I might come to understand what you think it means to be a black man in America, but unless I missed a headline or something, you don't represent anyone other than yourself. So, there you go.
When I first started to pass as male, I was excited until I realized something.
What?
My appearance was no longer just mine. It was a message.
Well, tell me how you transcended the temporal plane into becoming an idea.
Suddenly a hoodie could get me followed.
Okay.
Walking too close to someone that night made them clutch their purse.
You know, I have had the experience of being the one in the hoodie. You ever, like you're walking on a sidewalk, right? And you are at a faster pace than the person in front of you. And you're the only ones around kind of thing. And you're going to pass them. There's nowhere else for you to go. And so you've got two options. Either you can slow your pace to match them, but then it kind of feels like, at least from my perspective, that I'm following them and lurking, because even I don't like people sort of at my back, so to speak. Or you can just sort of like find a way to awkwardly walk around them if they're taking up too much of the sidewalk and just have to pass them. Or at worst, and this is the worst one I've had happen before, where you're not going so fast that you're going to go right past them, but you're kind of gonna have to linger next to them for a beat or 7 before you finally get past. I passed a lady one time, and it was like that, where I wasn't like trying to do a speedster run past her. I was just walking at my pace, but I was faster than she was. And so for a minute there, I was right beside her, parallel. And she was like, ah! And I was like, oh, and I just like, no, I just kept going. And so, anyway, I could go on. But anyway.
Police no longer offer help, they offer questions.
Okay.
Statistically, black men are viewed as older, more dangerous, and less innocent than their peers.
I've heard that said before. I always wonder where that information comes from.
Even as young as 10 years old.
Uh-huh.
So I learned quickly. Being seen as a black man in America means walking through a world that's already been warned about you.
You were at least, I'm guessing, 18 or 19-ish by the time you were able to pass for a black man, so you were already an adult. But anyway.
And on top of that, I was handed an invisible job description.
Dare I ask about your invisible job description?
Protect women.
You mean as a man? Well, yeah. That's what good men do.
Protect children.
Yeah, these are sort of classically masculine instincts, if not responsibilities in life, yeah.
Don't cry.
Well, know when to cry.
Don't break.
Okay.
Don't fail.
Okay, you're getting some bad advice from somewhere. Could it be feminism? I'm just wondering. Thank you, Matt Barnes, pardon me. Thank you so much. Perhaps this should have consulted Gmapco, which is superior to that Rand McNally trash. I know where the door is, Scribe. I mean, I know what Rand McNally is. I don't understand. I confess. Whatever the punchline to that was, I apologize. I'm hoping someone in the chat appreciates what I'm too stupid to understand. This is the point at which I'd have to have the joke explained to me, and I feel embarrassed. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll do better next time. Or I won't. But thank you, Matt Barnes. Either way. Appreciate it. Let's see. Ooh, Susanna wants to tell us of her sketchy backstory. Also, I was hanging around criminals most of my life, so they kind of had a reason to. Couldn't help where I grew up or who I grew up around. The punk rock origins of Susanna. Have had cops doing that to me, though it shifted in nature as I got older. Okay, so it was like the company you keep kind of thing, or just guilt by association kind of deal? I guess I could see that. Let's see. If you can't do the job, don't fucking put on the uniform, lady. Being a man comes with carrying 10 millions of human history in your back. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. It's like, if you want to become a man, and the expectations not only... And this is the thing, though. It's like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. If you don't feel like protecting women, I mean... I would hope you'd protect innocent people if you had the opportunity. And protecting children just seems, I would hope, instinctual to most rational human beings. Don't cry. Boys don't cry. Yeah, well, it's stoicism. It's not about It's controlling your emotions. It's not about not having any. Don't break. I mean, what are we talking about? Like in a stressful situation, in a situation that needs decisiveness and leadership and someone to keep people calm in a time of crisis, yeah, it's best if you don't break, as in don't lose control, don't give yourself over to emotions. That's the whole don't cry thing that people keep talking about, as though men are just automatons or something. But anyway, you've been getting some feminist toxic masculinity education. Go on.
Don't fail.
Don't fail, right.
But who protects the protector?
Who protects the protector? Your father. Sympathetic men. I don't know. What are you asking to have done for you?
What does it mean to take on those roles when you were never protected in the first place?
Oh, okay. Well, that is difficult. Yeah, if you don't have a healthy role model to tell you what it means to be a man and what those responsibilities entail, that would be an uphill battle. I'll give you that. So throughout your entire life, you never came across, either in reality or in fiction, because people have been inspired by fictional role models as well, you never had any male role model at all. At all?
I started noticing something else.
What's that?
My opinions started to carry more weight.
Sure.
People interrupted me less.
I'll have to take your word for it. Oh, wait, I paused the video.
Doors, literal and figurative, began to open.
What kind of doors? Were they doors where someone might assume that you had the physical prowess to do labor jobs? And why might that be? I don't know.
I was experiencing male privilege.
Privilege on the board. Now, let me ask you something. Tell me about the advantages of female privilege. Tell me of the advantages of, because there's not, if there's such a thing as male privilege, you bet your bippy there's female privilege. What things were you then disallowed from or did not have done for you? Did you have people open doors for you, as in the chivalrous sense, as much? The interactions changed because people perceived you to be a man versus a woman. However, if you looked like a woman, things would be different than if you were a man. You see how this works? Okay, well, okay. I guess you now have all the privileges of membership. Are you complaining about that?
But not the kind that erases race.
Tell me.
Because while I was gaining access in some spaces, I was still black.
Yes. And what should be the appropriate way to hope the world changes in that regard?
And the weight of that never left. Privilege and profiling simultaneous, it's a strange thing to hold.
Yeah, kind of like being told that since I'm white, I have white privilege. By someone who barely even knew me. Apparently, just hardship just falls off me like Teflon. It does suck to have people make assumptions about the nature and character of you based on non-determinative characteristics. I know. I can say that I know. So, I have sympathy for you. Welcome to the wonderful world. I don't know what to tell you. It's not fun, but it is how people behave these days. I'd like it to change. What do you have to say?
What shocked me the most was how different life felt just by being seen as male.
Why did it shock you? Okay, I'm going to give the speaker the benefit of the doubt here. She says that she lived her entire life up through high school prior to transitioning. So all the way from birth to, I'm going to guess, I could be wrong, but I'm going to guess up to the age of 18, she had no idea about the differentials in either behavior or societal expectation or treatment of men versus women. Only after transitioning did you realize this. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I can buy that your interactions with people and their behavior towards you drastically changed after your transition, but to act like you had no knowledge that these things existed beforehand makes zero sense to me, the way that it's being expressed.
It was like I had stepped behind the curtains and saw how the show really worked.
How does the show really work? Tell me.
I also felt the divide. Some black men embrace me.
And some don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Mounds don't. Because...
while others questioned if I belong.
Uh-huh.
And I get it. Black masculinity is constantly under attack.
Sure. I would say that masculinity writ large, regardless of melanin count, has been under attack severely for the last 15, 20 years or so, in particular. But okay. Thing is, you're not a black man. Anyway, thank you again, Matt Barnes. Apologies, Scribe. Oh, you didn't have to pay to apologize. But thank you, Matt Barnes. Apologies, Scribe. Earlier, he said he wasn't given a roadmap. Oh! Doi. Roadmap to life. Jim Apco makes more detailed maps than Rand McNally. I sent that off to my accountant called with some questions, so I couldn't respond. Okay. Now, yeah, Rand McNally. Yeah, I recognize the name from maps and such things. I don't know that I've ever heard of Jim Apco. So that's me. That's my ignorance showing. But thank you so much, Matt, for your generosity. I don't know what to say elsewise. That's great of you. I appreciate that. But okay, so a very nuanced joke that I didn't get, but I appreciate it. And your accountant called. Yeah, I just started the process of filing my taxes for the year. That's going to be fun, as always. But anyway, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. I will try to make note of... Is that how you say it? Jim Apco? Or is that... Tell me how to pronounce that. Phonetically, if possible. I like to learn things. Anyway, you were saying something about... Oh yeah, black masculinity is always under attack. Uh-huh.
It builds walls to protect itself.
How so?
But as a trans man, I had to climb those walls and still find room for my truth.
Such as what? Some examples. I know you've only got 3 minutes left, but come on.
I didn't grow up with a dad.
Yeah, I kind of gleaned that.
So when I became a man, I didn't inherit a legacy.
You didn't become a man. But whatever.
I had to invent one.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's okay. Okay. You didn't grow up with a father. Fair enough. At no point in all of your 18 years up to transition and afterwards, there wasn't a single positive male role model in your life. Again, either real or just, external, fictional, sports hero, movie star, something.
So I pieced together manhood from rap lyrics YouTube videos. That's how I learned how to put my bow tie on for the first time.
There's a guy on YouTube. I just saw something about this today. He's got a channel where he's like a surrogate father. He does videos on all the things that dads teach their kids to do, like how to shave and how to tie a tie and everything. And that's really sweet. So yeah, there are instructional YouTube videos out there on how to dad or dad for you or something.
YouTube videos.
Hi, YouTube.
Locker room talks.
Locker room talks?
And watching how men moved in the barbershop.
Okay, so life's just one big imitation. It fits.
I listened. I copied. I practiced.
I'm suddenly having flashbacks to the 13th Warrior for some reason. If you know, you know.
But some of those lessons were toxic.
Such as, what was toxic? Tell me about the toxicity of our masculinity.
Be tough.
Yeah, stand up for yourself, be assertive. Yeah.
Be silent.
Stoic.
Don't show fear.
Stoic.
Don't need anyone.
I mean, be self-sufficient maybe, but don't need anyone. No man is an island. Unless you're Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Then you're a whole planet.
And I had to ask myself.
That sounds dangerous. Sounds like you might need to get a tetanus shot after that one.
Is this really what being a man means?
You will never know what it means to be a man. I hate to tell you this, and, you know, congratulations on your transition. I wouldn't have been able to tell. You know, I had no idea. So congratulations on that, at least. That aside, you will never know what it's like to be a man. To grow up as a man, to have to move through the world as a man. It's all just going to be an imitation, as you've described. I don't know what to tell you. So it's an even more difficult hill to climb, I'd think. Yeah. So just like I'll never know what it's like to be a woman. I could wear a dress and put a wig on and pretend all day, but I would never know what it's like to be a woman. Just, it's not how it works.
At some point, I realized that real masculinity isn't about who you could dominate.
You know, I hate to tell you this, and I can only speak for myself, but we learn that rule pretty early on in life when we have healthy parentage. And here's the thing. I know, and have known, many men who grew up without a father, but a very responsible mother, and they are good men. So,
It's about who you can uplift. It's about being dependable, not just strong.
Yes. Again, most well-adjusted men learn these lessons in childhood through their lived experience as boys growing into men with proper guidance by adults in their lives. I'm glad that you've discovered this late in the game, I guess, about how men work.
And most importantly, it's about emotional responsibility. Knowing when to speak, not just when to stay silent.
If by emotional responsibility you mean having control over one's emotions, then yes. Knowing when not to stay silent. About what?
Now, let's be honest.
I am. being honest.
America has a very specific idea of the black man.
When I was growing up, my very specific idea of the black man. What was my very specific idea of the black man? Well, I mean, here's the thing. I know this is a wild concept, but I thought of people as individuals with names because you had Martin Luther King Jr., you had Magic Johnson, you had Michael Jordan. Who else? I always forget his name. Oh, why do I always forget his name? From Predator. You know, the bald guy who oh God, what was his name? Somebody help me. The bald guy in Predator who's got the little razor and he was always shaving his head and everything. And then he warns Dylan, you know, if you make another sound, I'll bleed you quiet like. You know, that guy. Not Danny Glover. No, in Predator. Not Carl Weathers. It's not Carl Weathers. It's the other guy. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God. Why can't I remember his name? I believe he just passed away recently. Dang it. Anyway, that guy. Wesley Snipes. On and on. Denzel Washington. Bill Duke. Thank you. Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes. Thank you so much. Matt Barnes. Bill Duke. That's what it was. I was thinking. My brain kept thinking it's something. I kept thinking of royalty for some reason. Why am I thinking of royalty? Duke. Bill Duke. Anyway, yes, Bill Duke. No, not Bill Cosby. Advocast Diablo. Well, he was a black male that was in my sphere of understanding at that time. That didn't age well, but you know, okay. So anyway, my notion of a black male ranged from sports hero to inspirational leader to action star, badass, whatever, you know. So I don't know, what is America's idea of you tell me, what is America's idea of the black man?
We're seen as aggressive.
Okay, well, men in general are seen as aggressive because of, you know, testosterone.
Unemotional.
You have not breached the general toxic masculinity line.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Or hypersexual.
Yeah. Again, all of these could be attributed to things held against men writ large.
Hypermasculine.
I don't know how you can get more hypermasculine than being a man, but okay.
And barely human.
Have you been listening to the feminist theories the last 15 years, 20 years or so? I hate to tell you this, but as far as men go, color doesn't really matter. Masculinity itself is toxic.
So when I became one.
You're not one.
When I stepped into this identity.
That would be a more accurate description.
I didn't just gain facial hair and a deeper voice.
Oh?
I inherited a stereotype.
Okay. None of this could have just occurred to you after the fact. Unless you dove into transition headfirst without any consideration whatsoever and with no previous life experience, none of this should have been a surprise.
Every time I walk into a store, I have to soften myself.
To steal a lyric from Mad Season, that sounds like a pain self-chosen.
Smile a little more.
Okay.
Keep my hands out of my pockets. Make sure I'm not too close to the white woman in the aisle.
So you're behaving as you assume everyone else assumes you will behave. Okay.
Because the price of being misunderstood is death.
So if you get too close to a white woman, you're going to die. Because as we know, we live in the exact same era, political and social situation, as that of Emmett Till. As you know.
And I had to learn to own my masculinity without losing my humanity.
What does that even mean?
And the truth is, I'm not here to be feared. I'm here to be felt.
Couple of ways you could see that, you know. I don't believe you want to be felted. You want to be felt. Okay. Yes, because again, you're not a person, you are an idea. You are a concept, right? You're an abstract. You're a message.
Felt. I'm here to show that black manhood can be gentle, vulnerable, responsible, and free.
I hate to tell you this, but there were countless black men who exemplified that before you even came along. You think very highly of yourself, ma'am.
So, what does it mean to become a black man in America?
I don't know. Tell me, oh, tell me true.
It means learning to live inside a body and an identity that the world already made assumptions about.
Does the word paranoia strike a chord at all? If you're going to move through the world assuming that other people already have an image of you that you're projecting onto them, you assume the worst of people, that they think that you're a monster, that you are dangerous, that you are toxic, that you are less than human. That's you projecting that onto them. So tell me, in that equation, who's the bad guy? Or girl, as the case may be.
It means protecting yourself while protecting others.
Well, how can you do that when you're less than human and toxic or something?
It means teaching yourself what no one else taught you.
Not necessarily. Not everyone grows up without a father.
It means rewriting manhood on your own terms.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Society expects you to be a remorseless killing machine. At the same time, it expects you to protect women and protect children. I can't fit these pieces together somehow.
I didn't become a man when I started taking testosterone.
You're right. And you still haven't.
I became a man the moment I chose truth over fear.
Abracadabra?
And if I learned anything in my transition is this: you don't have to be born into something to belong to it.
Depends on what we're talking about. You know, like the Masons?
You just have to build it honestly, intentionally, and unapologetically.
Honestly, huh? Okay.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. the 6-minute long TEDx talk. I always love it when a woman tries to tell me what it means to be a man or how men should act. I mean, I have a preference for how I like women to be, but I don't demand it of them. Unless we're in that kind of relationship and then it's all a completely different dynamic. Anyway, moving on. Let's move on to the bingo card because, well, it's bingo card time. Remember, this is bingo card B. Get your bingo card Bs ready. Zip that there. There we go. So not a whole lot here. We were very focused on one particular topic, but we'll go over the card one more time and see if we have anything else to circle. I'll do it one more time by myself. If you have arguments for squares to be circled, hold on to them. I will get to you momentarily. Marginalize, marginalization. Yes, because the argument or complaint was that black men in general are seen as lesser, seen as problems, etc. Self-vilification or wretchedness. I mean, she was vilifying aspects or assumed aspects of masculinity. Is that self-vilification? Oh, this gets kind of convoluted, doesn't it? I'll leave that one to you guys. Contradicts own point, fails to make argument. What was the argument? What does it mean to become a black man in America? Abstracts didn't help me on that one. So I'm gonna say no. Feminism. I'm gonna say feminism simply because she was relaying the same talking points about masculinity that I've been hearing from third wave feminists for, well, on reflection, most of my adult life, but certainly within the last 10 years or so. Circling that one. Microaggressions or unconscious bias. Yes, because she used those concepts in the argument about how people perceive black men and why she has to go into a store with a smile on her face and soften herself or whatever that means. Benevolent condescension. Did you guys know? Did you know that men are expected to protect children? It's amazing revelation. Weightless example or non sequitur? Weightless example or non sequitur? I don't think we were given any examples in this. I don't know. And since it's a bingo square, if you're going to make an argument, it better be a good one. Economic disparity. I don't believe she ever brought up economics. Deceptive statistics. Okay, the only the only statistic we were given is in the abstract. Statistically, black males and boys are seen as, older, more aggressive, etc. That is a purported statistic. I have heard that claim have been made before in different things. Was it deceptive? I don't know. I guess it depends on how you interpret the use of it. I'll leave that to you guys. Attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase. I didn't hear anything new. A list. There wasn't like 3 steps to becoming a black man or something like that, so I didn't hear that. Mind reading or assumes motives. Boy, howdy. Yeah, she has to behave this way or that way or this way or that way, or she'll be dead. Okay, patriarchy. Yeah, I generally try to stay away from double dipping, but between male privilege and other things, there was the sense that there was a patriarchy being alluded to that she joined as a result of this, I guess. Anecdote that probably never happened. Okay, it's got to be an anecdote and not a hypothetical, and she spoke mostly in hypotheticals without giving us like a story or a direct experience. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hesitant to say this post-transition revelation as to there being disparities between the way society treats women versus men is an anecdote that probably never happened. Maybe. I don't know. But, by the way, having circled patriarchy, because I just now noticed looking at the card, I was like looking off into space and thinking there for a second. If you can...
Bingo! What? Bingo! Yeah! Of course! Of course!
All right. Moving on for the moment. DEI philosophy. Not that I specifically heard. I mean, she said doors open for her that weren't there before, at the same time being oppressed and seen as less than human. So I'm not quite sure how that works. But not particular. Not that I could tell. White supremacy. It was definitely alluded to. So, yeah, I'm gonna not said directly, but definitely alluded to. Systemic or institutional? Again, I'm reaching just a smidge here because the expectation of society on men and black men in particular. So, yeah, it's an institutional belief. It's a systemic, misandry, systemic racism, that kind of thing. Leaves out vital context. I mean, it would have been nice to have some active examples of what experiences she had either prior or after transition, like an actual example, and not just these sort of abstract rhetorical notions of, yeah, well, as soon as I became a man, doors opened for me. In what way? What happened after you were a man that was different than when you were a woman? Like, did you apply for a job as a woman that suddenly was available to you as a man? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Thank you again, Matt Barnes. Doctors hate her for cracking the code on how to be a black man. Click the link below. Yeah. You can become a black man with this one weird trick. Oh, man. Thank you, Matt Barnes. Today's episode is brought to you by Matt Barnes. When you need to house your horse, think of Barnes. Matt Barnes. I'm hearkening back to my Lords of the Night days by doing that. I better be careful. People will be expecting me to do that for them. Let's see. So leaves out vital context. Yes, I would have liked a more concrete example or three of the, whether they worked for the argument or not, of the differential between male and female experiences in her life that were at least comparable. I mean, you talked about doors opening. Like, I was allowed into those spaces. Like, what spaces? What doors? What are you talking about? Sales pitch for product or service? No. Word salad. Yes. I'm going to say yes to word salad because there were so few concrete examples. There were so few, dare I say, substantive elements to the story to back up the argument or the presentation. So anyway, that's the card as I have it. If you have arguments for squares to be circled, put them in the chat now. If I miss your argument, please just repost it. I won't be scrolling up more than a little bit. Morning, says Dom O'Leary. It is decidedly the afternoon or the early evening. Unless you're on the other side of the planet, then I could forgive you. I forgive you. Okay, so here we go. Advocatus Diaboli, scribe. All that talk about intentionally needing to make themselves seem softer and less opposing was self-vilification. Oh, as if now being a man also made them see themselves as being dangerous. Ooh, I like that. Very good. Very good, yes. So by softening herself, she was confessing to the image of the villain that she assumed everyone else saw her as, thus self-vilifying. Yep. Yes, excellent reasoning, excellent reasoning. Thank you, Advocatus. You win.
Bingo. What? Of course!
There we go. All right. Anybody else? Susano, I don't doubt they think what they said, just what they think is correct. Just that what they think is correct. Right. Zero the Hero, great ad. Hey, on a moment's notice, what can I tell you? Yeah, self-vilification, yes, got that one. Yep, it's me. A list. While not specific lists, there were sections where she was just listing traits for men or problems men have. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't a numbered list. She did list off all the elements that a society attributes to men and then attributes to black men, and that she had to then overcome. Okay, fair enough. You know what? You're right. Yeah, I usually like something that's far clearer, like, you know, here's 3 steps to happiness, or 4 ways you can do this, that, or the other. But yeah, so I try not to just give a list away to someone saying a series of things, because that can be too easy. I usually like there to be, you know, part of the presentation, some kind of number deal. But in this instance, yeah, since part of the main thrust of the argument was she was learning how to be a better man, at least she compared and contrasted. I'll give her this. She at least compared and contrasted the negative elements attributed to men and or black men, and then tried to counteract with the better elements. Anyway, that's all a long way of saying this.
I had a dog, and his name was...
What?
I had a dog, and his name was...
Bingo!
Of course!
Ooh, we have another bingo. All right. Alexander the Scourge, I am at work. You have my sympathies. The day has been moving at a brisk pace, but after this TEDx, I feel the movement of time itself. Like I spent 4 years in a single hour. Jesus. I'm sorry. But as a lich, that doesn't affect you at all. Because you are timeless. Time does not touch you. Time cannot be felt. Let's see. Let's see. Suzanne overstarted. Didn't think about this. This is a female that changed to looking male and is likely overcompensating for feeling like a fake man. Possibly so. I mean, it sounds like, and I'm not saying it's impossible. It just sounds a bit beyond to me that from the age of, and again, just based on what she said, that after graduating high school, transition. So up until the age of 18, she never had a positive male role model anywhere in her life. Okay, she did. Father was gone. For whatever reasons, father was not present. But there wasn't a teacher, another family member, again, a celebrity. I mean, celebrities sometimes can be positive role models, male or otherwise. No positive male role models? And then, like, so I had to observe how men act and how men walk and how men talk. After you transition, I mean, that was the time frame it sounded like to me. Like, she graduates high school, gets the surgery and everything, starts appearing as a man, and then starts observing men to learn what it's like to, or how to behave as a man. Something just doesn't. Maybe the story was badly told, but the way that I understood the chain of events just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If it is true that she had no positive male role models all the way through her childhood up to the age of 18, that's sad. But okay. Let's see. Advocatus. Anecdote that never happened. Learning to be a man from rap songs. See, I don't know that I really took that seriously. I thought that was kind of a joke. But here's the thing. If we're honest with ourselves, a lot of kids in the 90s decided to emulate rap stars. So the idea that you could try to glean something of what you think masculinity or manhood is supposed to look like from rap videos and so on, it's not beyond the pale, no pun intended. So to say that either as a joke or as a literal truth, it doesn't sound too far afield to me. Because I knew kids growing up that really took rap songs and rap stars to heart. So, yeah, maybe that's just me. That could explain a lot if it wasn't a joke. Maybe, I mean, yes, if you looked at the behavior of rap stars and decided, well, this masculinity thing looks absolutely terrible. I suppose you could come to the conclusion that masculinity is a terrible, terrible thing if you take what rappers describe in their songs or do in their videos as examples of everyday manhood. You wouldn't want to be someone I'd want to sit next to on the bus if that's how you saw reality, but yeah, maybe. Jay Blizzard, I got here late, LOL, was eating dinner. Well, that's as good an excuse as any. I hope it was a good dinner. Was it meatloaf? Or chicken divan? Anybody else out there make chicken divan? My Mama Scribe makes the best chicken divan in the world. The whole world. The whole wide world. The whole wide world. I learned what it was to be a man from Muddy Waters. There you go. Hey, if you want some culture in your life, get some Muddy Waters. There you go. It was a good old chicken wings. Yay! Good old chicken wings. All right. Anything else? Waitley's example. No examples really given. Economic disparity. Didn't really talk about money at all. Deceptive statistics. It didn't specifically bring up statistics, but just said statistically, black men and boys are seen as older, more aggressive, more dangerous, and so on. Like I said, I've been told that is so before. I don't know where those statistics come from. Was it deceptive? It was meant to be persuasive. But was it deceptive? Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, anecdote that probably never happened, DEI, philosophy, sales, preferred. I think we might have hit the proverbial wall on bingo squares this time, guys. Of course, it was only a 6-minute long talk. Kiro Soldier, I had my father and grandfathers throughout my life. You are a lucky individual. I had my father, obviously, throughout my life. My father's father passed away when I was very young. I was like 11 or 12. And my mom's dad passed away when I was, what was it? I was 18? Yeah, something like that. And both of them lived far away. So they were part of my life, but they were not a direct influence on my life, save for the lessons or elements passed down from them to my parents. But both were very good men. My dad's dad was a bit rougher around the edges than my mom's dad. My mom's dad was like the absolute picture of gentle goodness. And my dad's dad was a former bar owner from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His family, boy oh boy, you want to talk about definition of salt of the earth. That was my dad's dad and his family. My dad's dad. Imagine the guy who plays the Cowardly Lion. That's kind of what my grandpa looked like. He's like, I'm rough and I'm tough. Kind of like a bulldog. He was stocky and he had these tattoos. He used to be a merchant marine. Yeah, so he was a bit more rough around the edges, and so there was a contrast there between my two grandfathers. That you had a much, I don't know how to put it. It was a very well-rounded sense of masculinity, I guess. If I had to put it in clinical terms, you had all the generally positive elements of being a man coming from my mom's dad. And then you had the what are often seen as negative by people who have like no sense of reason elements in my grandfather, but it was just a different kind of masculinity for a different era and a different part of the country. You know, where these elements were necessitated by the environment he grew up in and the conditions he was raised in. But neither were bad, you know. So anyway, but my version of masculinity, I like women. What can I tell you? I try to control my emotions rather than let them get away with me, and I know when it's appropriate and when it's not. I protect, I provide, I feel responsibility for things that I don't necessarily am responsible for, but it kind of extends out from my, you know, overblown sense of responsibility, especially now with my father gone. I feel an increased sense of responsibility over my sister and my mother's well-being. Not that they can't take care of themselves, but that's just the instinct that I have. So it's probably toxic. You know, I'm diminishing them and their agency by having such care for them. That's what it is. That's what a feminist would say, probably. But anyway, anything else before we wrap things up? Zero the Hero, Milwaukee, let's go. Yes, my father was a Wisconsin boy, a Milwaukee. He told stories about how he grew up next to a cemetery. And he would, at one time, he was paid 5 cents for every gopher he killed that was tearing up the cemetery. So he would bring these dead gophers to the cemetery caretaker, and for each gopher head that he brought, gopher scalp, he got a nickel. And then my father would take these nickels down to the theater, and he would go and see The Wizard of Oz. And at that time, The Wizard of Oz was playing. They gave away a different piece of a china set with Wizard of Oz branding on it, like little paintings and stuff. So you'd have the gravy boat one day, and then you'd have the dinner plate the next day, and that kind of thing. And so you'd have to go see the movie more than once to collect all the pieces of the china set. And so he went and did this over and over to get the whole china set for his mother. Because toxic masculinity. Anyway. Anyway, guys, that's the TEDXtra. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Otherwise, by the way, just before I forget, because I almost did, you guys know I have a Discord server? I have a Discord server. If you'd like to join the Discord server, let me get this up here. You just have to click the link in the chat box that appears right now. Click on that link, you'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will let me know that you're not a bot. Actually watch the stream and have thus earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is... oh, how about... toxic. Just say hello, toxic. Or if you want to be more familiar, you can say hello, Toxie. I won't take it as an offense if you associate me with a Toxic Avenger, because he's an American hero. But yeah, say hello, Toxic, and I'll know that you watched the show. Outside of that, on a regular basis, you can find me here Mondays at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time for DEI Death Watch, where I take a look at the latest and greatest in DEI, the doubling down and downfall thereof. Also on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern is the regular showing of TED Excellence, where I do a full-fledged TEDx talk with commentary and bingo for your education and enlightenment. Before I miss this, Aztec Maniac Aztec Maniac? Do you go by another name I might know you by that YouTube has taken away from you? Just on the off chance that I will know your name elsewise. But Aztec Maniac, thank you so much for the #1 Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wowee! Wow! Wow!
Oh, that's a drunken uncle Dogcat Fox. And it says here, let's celebrate their third super on a live stream. I'm your third? Oh. Oh, by the way, I wanted to share something. This made me laugh the other day. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to give all the context to this. But I was having a Twitter fight with someone about ICE recently, if you can believe it. And at one point in trying to, or one of the situations with ICE, or was it the Don Lemon thing? I think it was the Don Lemon thing. Anyway, this person asked me why I fucking hated the Constitution as an accusation. I was saying, like, no, he went into that church and he did this and that and the other, and it sure looks like he violated the law. And the person asked me, why do you fucking hate the Constitution? And then someone in the Discord server generated this. I thought, damn, I almost look good in that picture. Boy, AI does me well. The only difference being that Sean Connery's hair in the photo is wavy and it's spiky back there. But that might be because of the reflection on the poster plastic of the blinds that are in front of me. So it did a pretty good job. That's a pretty good Sean Connery, I'd say. Anyway. There you go. But anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated either to myself or to the link at the chat box to the Blood Cancer United charity for blood cancer research, thank you guys so much for your generosity. Very much appreciated. With that, everyone, I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday and weekend, and I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.